Have you ever stopped to think about how something completely invisible, a tiny virus, could bring an entire civilization to its knees? It sounds like the plot of a disaster movie, but it's a chillingly real part of our history. The story of humanity is filled with terrifying chapters, written not by conquering armies, but by microscopic enemies. Throughout time, 5 major pandemics have completely altered the course of our civilization, changing everything from politics and economics to art and science. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and decode the unknown scientific and social secrets behind these great plagues. What really happened, and what can they teach us about our world today? Pandemics are far more than just widespread diseases. They act as a social mirror, reflecting the strengths and more often the weaknesses of the societies they strike. So what made these historical outbreaks so utterly devastating? 3 factors stand out: the sheer speed of transmission, a critical lack of information, and most importantly, the absence of adequate infrastructure. In a world without modern medicine or instant communication, people were fighting in the dark against an enemy they couldn't see or understand. History's deadliest foes have always been the invisible ones, and their impact is a stark reminder of our own fragility. Let's travel back to the 14th century for our first case, the Black Death. It's almost impossible to comprehend the scale of this catastrophe. An estimated 30 to 50% of Europe's entire population was wiped out. The culprits were famously rats and the fleas they carried, but the real superspreaders were the conditions of the time: inadequate hygiene and the newly expanding global trade routes that connected cities like never before. But the Black Death didn't just kill, it completely reshaped society. The old system of feudalism collapsed under the strain. With so many workers gone, the value of labor skyrocketed, empowering the surviving working class and, believe it or not, paving the way for the intellectual and artistic explosion of the Renaissance. It was a societal reset button pressed by a plague. Now, let's jump forward to a more recent, yet equally terrifying event: the Spanish flu of 1918. Emerging from the chaos of World War I, this pandemic infected a third of the world's population and killed an estimated 50 million people. But here's the real mystery that puzzled scientists for decades. Why did it disproportionately target young, healthy adults? The secret lies in a phenomenon called a cytokine storm. The strong immune systems of healthy individuals went into overdrive, launching such a massive attack against the virus that it ended up damaging the body's own tissues, particularly the lungs. The very thing that should have protected them became the cause of their death. And the war itself, with its massive troop movements across continents, acted as a global accelerator, spreading the virus with horrifying efficiency. Our third case takes us back to the ancient world, to the plague of Justinian in the 6th century. This pandemic struck the heart of the Byzantine Empire, at the time the most powerful civilization in the Western world. It ravaged the Mediterranean basin, reducing its population by a staggering 10%. This wasn't just a health crisis, it was a political disaster of the highest order. The Emperor Justinian had a grand dream of restoring the former glory of the Roman Empire, of reuniting its lost territories. The plague shattered that dream. With his armies decimated and his treasury empty, the empire was critically weakened, changing the political map of Europe forever. A microscopic organism toppled an emperor's ambition. Finally, let's examine a pandemic from our own lifetimes: HIV/AIDS. When it emerged in the late 20th century, it presented a unique and heartbreaking challenge. The darkest secret of this epidemic wasn't a scientific puzzle, but a deeply human one: the fight against prejudice. The stigma surrounding the disease, the fear and misinformation, created a toxic social environment. This widespread damgalanma delayed crucial public health interventions and research funding for years. While scientists raced to understand the virus, society put up walls. Millions of lives were needlessly lost, not because of a lack of scientific capability, but because of a lack of compassion and understanding. It taught us that a disease can be fought on 2 fronts, the medical and the social. So what have we learned from decoding these historical disasters? If these pandemics have taught us one undeniable truth, it's this: if there is something even more important than our individual immune systems, it is our collective social system. Diseases are a mirror, reflecting the cracks and vulnerabilities within our societies. Our inequalities, our prejudices, our lack of preparedness. In the modern era, the rapid flow of information is one of our greatest assets in medicine, allowing for global collaboration and quick development of treatments. But that very same speed of connection, in a world more interlinked than ever, is also the greatest accelerator for the spread of new pandemics. The past is not just a story, it's a warning and a guide for the future we are building. If you also want to look beyond the surface, decrypt the codes that run our world, and take control of your own life, don't forget to subscribe to our DecodedLog channel right now. We'll see you in the next one.